It's your boy Jose from Big Meat Sports. We are going to try this again, all right? Because, look, first of all, we haven't been on here. We haven't done a podcast since June 8th. So, and this is for the gaff right here. We just recorded, we did a podcast earlier, but I forgot to hit the record button.
Yep.
So,
Take two.
So I don't even know where that button, where that soundtrack is at. Oh no, I even need clapping that. See, we messing up all over the place right here. So
I'll do it next time.
Hey, but it is what it is. Hey, it's your boy Jose from Big Meat Sports. How are you guys doing on this lovely week? I got my boy JC in the house, the Miami Dolphins guru, the die-hard Dolphin fan. As you can see, if you're checking us out on YouTube, you can see it with his hat. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, man. I was doing better the first time around. But I'm doing good, man. I'm ready to come back and talk football. I love football. I'm excited that we're back, so I could talk about it all day.
Okay. That's what I like to hear. So, we were talking about, before we were not recording, we were talking about what your impression of the off-season moves and stuff like that, and what you like seeing in this first preseason game. So go ahead and let me hear it.
So starting off with the off-season, number one, I like the head coaching pick in Mike McDaniel, young guy. I think he's brought a lot of excitement. A lot of his personality has been trickled down to the players. I think everybody's being themselves. I think he's giving an opportunity for everyone just to have fun and go out there and play ball. So I love the hire. Off-season moves, we got Tyreek Hill, gave up a lot for him, which he's absolutely worth it. Love that addition. Teron Armstead on the left tackle side, Conor Williams, your boy from Dallas, who was a guard, but now he's playing center. Love all the moves. We didn't have a lot of draft picks, but with the picks that we did have, I did like. We didn't pick to the third round. We got Channing Tindall, linebacker from Georgia. We got Eric. See, I got his name right the first time.
Iggy.
No.
Oh,
That's the cornerback. Eric Arizama. Let's call him Arizama.
There you
go. Wide receiver from Texas Tech. But no, I love the picks. Love the guys we got from the undrafted list. Love everything about this offseason. It's been amazing. Outside of the injury on the preseason game, I think they played a very, very solid game, especially our quarterback, Skylar Thompson, who we got in the 7th round, I believe.
Yeah, and a lot of people are speaking highly of him.
Good.
And,
he's looking really good. Big guy, big arm. He can, he has a good pocket presence. He was going through his reads really quickly. He was slinging that thing out there.
So do you keep Teddy B or?
No, yeah, of course. You got to keep Teddy B. I think, honestly, I do think they keep 3 quarterbacks.
Okay.
Because he's made it tough for them to put him on the practice squad and him, possibly being picked up by someone else. Maybe Dallas picks him up. I don't know. Yeah. So we got to keep him safe, and I think he does make the roster. But yeah, no, the preseason game I was solid. Like I had mentioned earlier, a couple weaknesses I did see in the game is the cornerback depth with Trill Williams going down, who I think was probably our 3rd or 4th best cornerback outside of Xavier Howard and B. Jones. We don't have much outside of Nick Needham, maybe, who's more of a slot corner. He's not an outside corner. So if any of those guys go down, knock on wood, we're looking very thin. We did sign a veteran today, Mackenzie Alexander, who played for Minnesota. He played for Cincinnati, solid guy. He can rush the quarterback, and he has pretty good ball skills. So I like him. I like the addition of that. And then our linebackers are a little weak. I think Jerome Baker steps up this year. Outside of that, we don't have much, but it's a work in progress. But I'm liking what we're doing so far.
So it's going to be an exciting year for the Dolphins, and you're going to be hearing a lot of this song coming up.
Miami has the Dolphins,
the greatest football team.
We take the ball from goal to goal
like no one's ever seen. We're on the ground. We're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl.
And
that
you
song,
guys,
man.
you guys play that game, play that song every time you guys score, right? So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like it's gonna be playing a lot this year with with the addition of your offense, Tyreek Hill, Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert,
Yeah.
and like I was saying, this is a Ferrari type offense. And how excited are you to see that? And what do you want to see more from this offense this year that you didn't really see last year?
Um, Obviously, our blocking has to be better. Our run game wasn't very good last year. Obviously, um, Mike McDaniel is a guru, is what they call him, of sorts, of play designing when it comes to the run game. Heavy in the pass too. I just want to see our quarterback be protected. Tua was on his back way too much last year. In addition to Jacoby Brissett, I mean, no one could stay up long enough. They weren't giving our quarterbacks enough time to let the play develop. And I think if our offensive line can do better there, I think we'd really be able to showcase the weapons that we have. I'd like to see us throw the ball a little bit more, get more chunk yardage. We weren't doing that much last year outside of Jalen Waddle here and there. I want our running game to be a little bit more consistent. We got more speed with Chase Edmonds, with Raheem Mostert. All the other guys are going to be battling for that third position if they do decide to keep a third or fourth running back, like Myles Gaskin, Sony Michel, although he didn't look too great in that first preseason game. But again, we weren't playing with many of our starting tackles and left guards out there, guards in general. But yeah, no, I'm excited just to see what kind of energy he's going to bring to this offense. I just want to see something new. We're too vanilla before, boring, very, very predictable. So
Do you think, and I know you guys got an addition to you brought in a fullback, and
Yes,
do you
I
think
like
the
that goal.
fullback is going to stay on the team? And
I
do you
so.
think having him, are you going to be more of a run heavy team to set up the pass, or do you think you're going to be more pass happy and then kill him with the run?
I think with the receivers that we have, with all the speed that we have to be somewhat pass happy. We're not having those guys out there to block.
Yeah.
I think Mike McDaniel is going to bring a balanced attack. I think he's going to have a heavy run game to be able to open up the passing game. And with guys like Waddle and Hill, you're opening up the run game already.
Mhm.
Having those guys. But if you're steady, if you're consistent and have a decent run game, I mean, these guys are going to be open out there, all this speed out there, in addition to Cedric Wilson in the slot and those guys on the outside. It's going to be dangerous. And you still got Mike Gesicki,
Yeah.
he's learning the offense right now. Blocking wasn't something he was strong in doing, and which is what he's learning. I'm hearing that he's also on the trade block
Oof.
because his back, the guy behind him, Durham Smythe, he can catch, he can play, but he can block really well. That's why he was drafted. Mike Gesicki's not a great blocker.
He's just one to spread it down the field and carry his man down the field.
Yeah.
With your offense, and I like I said, it's a Ferraris type offense. Most of the eyes are going to be towards Tyreek Hill, and I just feel like Jalen Waddle might have one of those, 1,500, maybe 2,000 yard year. I don't know, but it was crazy because watching your practices, you had the safeties and the corners running with Tyreek Hill, but forgot that Waddle was coming underneath, and nobody was covering him. So it's gonna be an exciting year for the Dolphins. And my one thing is the O-line. How are you a little bit worried with the O-line, and starting with the center and Conor Williams and Armstead, as with his health issues?
Not worried about Armstead playing wise. Obviously, his health. Obviously we got to make sure that he's ready and he stays healthy. Conor Williams, I love that addition. Wasn't expecting the Dolphins to put him at center, but that's what they decided to do. I won't go against what they say. But Conor Williams has been struggling with his snapping issues. A little too high there for Tua. These kind of errant snaps that have been taking place at practice. People have been noticing and been talking about it. Granted, he's working on it. So, I'm obviously a little bit concerned there. I'm obviously concerned on the right side. That's Tua's blind side. Um, you got guys like Liam Eichenberg, the second year guy. You got Austin Jackson, the third year guy, who was absolutely atrocious at left tackle. They've moved him to right tackle. So those guys are still developing. And that's pretty much it, man. I think we're a stronger unit. Absolutely. When you add those guys, it's just going to take time for them to build that chemistry together.
Okay. Hey, look, I'm just, as a Dallas Cowboy fan, I'm just wanting you guys to share some wealth at the wide receiver position because you guys have so much depth that it's crazy. The Cowboys have no depth at all. With James Washington going down, you are just basically banking on CD Lamb, Jalen Tolbert, and James Washington, which James Washington.
He's not out for the year, is he?
He's only out for like the first few games, I believe they said. And Noah Brown. And Noah Brown is
what about Michael Gallup? What happened to Michael Gallup?
Yeah, and Michael Gallup, but Michael Gallup is again coming off an ACL injury. And and I always say this, with ACLs, the first year is a wash because when you come back from ACL, you're trying to see what you feel comfortable with. So that first season, you're trying to feel where you're comfortable in, what cuts you can do. And then you start gaining some confidence. And that second year is when you go back to normal form. So yeah. I don't see Michael Gallup coming back, look, I hope he does, but I don't see him coming back to the old Michael Gallup. That was basically our Des Bryant jumping, out of the stands and catching the ball, like out jumping everybody. He was that our back shoulder, let me throw it up and see he can grab it because he can out jump. That's something that we didn't have with Amari Cooper, but Amari Cooper was one of our best route runners. But everybody's high on CD Lamb. The one thing I just hated about him, and it's going to be brief with the Cowboys, it's, our issue last year was penalties. And this last preseason game, we had 17 penalties, all right, for 125 yards. I don't know what's going on. Granted, there was a lot of people out. I think it was like 19 to probably 20 something people out for the Cowboys as in starters or some people that play meaningful minutes. But still, I don't know what's going on. And most of them were like false starts and motion procedures and stuff like that. But like, some of them were BS calls.
We'll see if it carries over to the second game. That first game's always a little.
Yes, like the BS call with Sam Williams, our rookie defensive end, where it's a late hit on the quarterback. What do you want him to do? The quarterback just released the ball and he got hit. You can't let pull up on that. But the reason that the Cowboys I feel still win the division is because our defense is going to be carrying us, and that's one thing that I said in the unrecorded podcast is our defensive line is interchangeable. They are fast. We got linebackers that are fast. We got Anthony Barr coming in with Micah Parsons, Leighton Vander Esch, and Jabril Cox that didn't really get a chance to play because when he started getting momentum, he tore his ACL. So he's coming back. So we're deep corners. It's kind of hopefully none of our corners go down because that's where we have depth issues like you guys have. Not really anybody to look towards. So we might have to address that.
And I got that issue with the quarterback as well.
And quarterback, but we got Cooper Rush. I don't know how long that goes down. That guy has been in the league for such a long time, but he is a reliable backup. He did win us a game in Minnesota on Halloween, so I can fault him there. But we have Will Greer as another backup, and our fourth, the Ben DiNucci, the DiNucci. The Danuchster. He's
when I saw that guy on the box score the other day for the Dallas game, I'm like, bro, this guy's still playing.
Hey, I swear to God, he plays with so much swag in preseason and practice. But when it comes to the game, you don't see it. I mean, he was doing like pump fakes, has the guy jumping in the air. I was like, damn, what was this? 2 years ago when we needed you and stuff like that to come in. But we're gonna transition to our picks for who we think who's going to win the AFC East. We're going to break it down by each team and the records. JC will be doing the AFC side, AFC East. I'll be doing the NFC East. So go ahead, JC, and tell me what the records are and so on and so forth.
Dolphins 17-0, taking it all the way. Buffalo Bills, obviously, I think they're going to win the division. As a Dolphins fan, it sucks because they're so good, and we had to deal for the Patriots. You had to deal with the Patriots and Tom Brady for so long, and now we got to deal with Josh Allen, who I think is an incredible QB. I hate the Bills, but I do respect what they're doing over there, so I do predict them to go 13-4 to win the AFC East. I do predict that they will make it to a conference championship, possibly the Super Bowl, but we shall see. I think they're that talented. That being said, I do think Miami steals a game from them, and I think it's the third game of the year, which is an early game down here in Miami. I think they lose to Kansas City a few games later, Cincinnati down the road, and I do think New England, don't think they're going to be that strong this year, but they always find a way to steal one from Buffalo. So I see them winning, losing those 4 games. Dolphins, I'm predicting them to go 12-5. Obviously, losing to Buffalo in Buffalo, that's one of them. Baltimore, we always struggle over there, so I'm, chucking that up as a loss. Cincinnati, I believe we played them on Thursday night in Cincinnati. That's going to be tough. We play in San Francisco. I know our boy Mike Shanahan is going to want to get one on his old former offensive coordinator down here in Miami. And I do think we lose 1 to New England, although we did sweep them last year. I think we split with them because it's always so tough for us to win up in New England as well.
Hey, look, I'm just hoping. I'm hoping they win that first game because.
For sure. They don't win in Miami, man.
We'll be out there the first game tailgating. Are they still doing the tailgate? Because I haven't tailgated a Dolphins game for a while.
Of course.
Okay, I'm just making sure because they stopped it for a while. I'm just making sure they brought it back because I want to do it.
We were out there last year full force. We were out there last year full force for a few games. I went to like 5 games last year. Tailgates are probably better than ever. So we'll definitely be out there. Coming in third, I have New England going 9-8. Although Bill Belichick is probably, I wouldn't say the GOAT because I think Don Shula is the GOAT. He's a genius in his own right, but I do think that they struggle this year. I can't name outside of Mac Jones. Who else do they have? Devontae Parker, former Dolphin. They don't have much. They rely way too much.
Real quick, do you think Devontae Parker scored a TD against you guys? I think they'll try to force it too much to him, though.
Yeah, we'll see if Mac Jones can get it to him. We'll see if he can make the field, man. Devontae Parker, another guy who doesn't see the field because he's always hurt. He played 1 full 16-game season in his 5-6 years he played for Miami. And that was his record year. He had over 1,000 yards, 7-8 touchdowns. He had a very solid year, but he can't stay on the field. Made out of glass. So I think they struggle against Miami, Buffalo, Green Bay, Arizona, Las Vegas, and Minnesota. The Jets, not too much to say about those freaking chumps. 13. Kind of happy that their quarterback isn't out for the year. I like Zach Wilson. As much as I hate the Jets, I do want to see the kid succeed.
And that was a scary injury. I for sure thought that was ACL.
The way you saw that, right?
Oh my goodness. I'm glad to have, because I want to see how the Jets are going to be. There is a lot of hype on them and stuff like that. Just because of Zach Wilson himself.
I don't see the hype on New York. I really don't. I mean, if Zach Wilson had a Justin Herbert type rookie year, then maybe. But I think they're going to be better.
I just want to see how he transitions to the second year. That's what I'm trying to say.
Of course. Yeah, no, definitely. The kid definitely has the talent and he has potential. But I think the Jets go 4-13.
4-13. So it's going to be another top 10 pick for the Jets, probably top 5 pick for the Jets. But with that being said, I mean, that's it looks good to me. I will say that the Bills, I feel I with the Dolphins being a 12-5, so they're probably going to be a high wild card. Am I hearing Bills and Dolphins AFC Championship game?
That's asking a lot, bro. I love my Dolphins, and I'm a very wishful thinker when it comes to my team, and we got to see how it plays out. But I mean, it's possible we play the Bills in second round. I'm assuming they probably have a bye.
Yeah.
And we end up going to Buffalo. It's gonna be it's crazy. But it all depends on injuries, man. Injuries, who's available, who isn't. But we shall see.
Yeah, I see a 13-4. I do see the Bills having that great of a year. They addressed their needs with the running back, getting Dalvin Cook's brother over there.
Which I wanted, by the way. I really wanted him.
Yeah, but damn, you guys got so much running backs over there.
I know, but
So
and they got Von Miller too. They got Von Miller. They got Von Miller.
And they got Von Miller, which should have been a Cowboy, but I guess he got lowballed by the Jones brothers, and I don't know. I don't know what
you're gonna
to
have
say.
You're gonna have to take a home down discount if you want to come down to Texas.
But man, no state tax. I think that would have worked out for him, but I don't know. It's
no state tax in Texas too.
No state tax in Texas. So
Damn.
he would have been living good over there. But it sucks because I feel like every offseason everybody's always tied into going to Dallas, and we don't get not one damn person. So we're lucky it was during season with getting Amari Cooper a few years ago. But
you got Terrell Owens a few years back, man.
Yeah, but damn, it's many seasons has passed since that happened.
Time ago, bro. Wow, man. That was what, 2006?
Yeah, somewhere around there. I work overnight,
like
so
15
my mind's
years
like,
ago. 15 years ago now.
Yeah. Wow. So we'll talk about the NFC East. So I got my Cowboys going 12-5. So the first two games are the first the telltale sign. Starting off pretty hot the first two games with Tampa and Cincinnati. I got them beating Tom Brady, and it's in Dallas. It's going to be the first time that Dallas Cowboys have beaten Tom Brady in Texas also. So that'll be a first for Dallas. But I do have them losing to Cincinnati. Now, the reason I say that they beat Tom Brady, because look, Tom Brady, I don't know what's going on with Tom Brady, but he's away for the team for 2 weeks. And yes, he's a GOAT.
Because it's his mom is ill or something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, now I'm feeling bad, but shit. But he's away for the team for about 2 weeks, and I just think that he's just gonna go in there a little bit rusty. And this is where it was a close game last year. It was a shootout. It just came down to a non-pass, pass interference called on Godwin on Jordan Lewis, which should have been called, offensive pass interference, and they didn't call it, and that's basically what gave him the game. Yeah. So it looks like we're gonna, we should come away with that win, losing to Cincinnati. I got us losing to the Rams, Minnesota Vikings, Indianapolis Colts, and Tennessee. Minnesota Vikings, I say that because I do have us beating Green Bay the week before. So I have us beating Green Bay in Green Bay. I just feel like Mike McCarthy going back to Green Bay he's going to put everything on the table. And I feel like I don't have confidence in the Green Bay Packers. Yes, Aaron Rodgers is that dude. He can throw anybody open, but I do feel that, he's going to feel our defense and that pass rush, and that's what's going to help us win this game. Then we
Devontae Adams either.
Yeah, so. And we're going to have a letdown the next week with Minnesota. That's why I have us losing to Minnesota, but we're sweeping the NFC East. I don't see the hype that they have with the Eagles. Yes, I get it. They have Brown, they have their other wide receiver. I'm forgetting his name right now.
Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith, there you go. They have playmakers, but who's their quarterback? Jalen Hurts.
And
this guy cannot throw.
I don't understand why Tua gets criticized as much as he does, yet Jalen Hurts does not.
Oh my God!
And
yes, they're both Alabama quarterbacks, but I feel that Jalen Hurts is the worst out of all three of them. Mac Jones, Tua, and him. I feel like he's the worst out of all three of them. So and he's not accurate at all. Like they're making fun of Dak and stuff like that throwing on practice, but they won't show Jalen Hurts can't throw an out route to Brown and so on and so forth. So that's why I have them winning. Going 12-5, beating the Eagles twice. When I look at the Dallas Cowboys schedule, it's not really that hard. I mean, we're playing Detroit, Chicago, Houston, Jacksonville. So that's why I have them at 12-5. A lot of people are going to be saying, they lost a lot, but I think, with our defense setting the tone, I do think that our offense can score enough points. We did it last year. We're not going to be the number one scoring offense again this year. Probably, I just want us to be in that top 10 because I do think our defense is going to lead the way for us. I have the Eagles going 11-6, so they're going to be in second place, always behind us. That's going to be the first year that's going to be back-to-back NFC East champions because every year for the past, 10, 15 years, it's always been rotating.
Crazy,
so,
crazy.
But I do have some bad losses for the Eagles. I do have them losing to Washington, the third game of the season. They will lose to Green Bay. And I also have them losing to New York because I just feel like New York always plays them good. Like, Giants, Eagles rivalry. I just feel, it throws me back to, I when I always think about this, Giants, Eagles, always the first picture in my mind is that Deshaun Jackson play when Giants were not supposed to kick it to Deshaun Jackson and he scored on them anyways. They kicked them right to him. Man. Yeah.
But look, man, speaking of division rivals, it's always tough, no matter if you're the Super Bowl champion. And I'll never forget where I was when I saw, the New England Patriots Super Bowl champions I believe they repeated that year against the Eagles in the Super Bowl. But before that, it was just before Christmas. Dolphins went 4-12 that year, and we sucked bad. It was the year that Ricky retired, and we beat them on Monday night here at home. And the Patriots were balling, and we somehow beat them. But we're a division rival. We know them better than anybody. So those division games, man, they're always the toughest, no matter how good you are.
I just feel like Dak has not really lost in a division. And especially he hasn't gotten swept in the division since his rookie year with the Giants losing to them twice, but he just owns the NFC East. I just feel like he knows them. He knows where they want to be and who to pick on and stuff like that. So I can't wait for this season. Giants, we got them 6-11. Really don't have them winning any really meaningful games. They lose like 4 in a row where it goes Green Bay, Baltimore, Jacksonville, and Seattle. And then they lose down the stretch going Minnesota, Indianapolis, and Philly. The one win again, the impressive win I have them doing is versus Philadelphia. But other than that, it's just a really bad year for the Giants. Sucks for my brother-in-law. He's gonna enjoy. My brother-in-law is a diehard Giants fan. Is gonna be hurting again. But I think it's Danny Dimes probably gonna get replaced, probably third or fourth game by Tyrod Taylor. Well, we'll just gotta see if Tyrod Taylor stays healthy because he has a issue with staying healthy and then leading the way to.
You gotta be careful. Nobody, let him inject anything, puncture his lung or something like that.
Man, Cleveland. So is it? So he led the way in Cleveland. Then he got replaced by Baker. Am I right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Then he goes to
Chargers.
Then he was replaced by Herbert because he got injured.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Houston, gets in this injection, and then really doesn't.
No, the injection happened in Cleveland.
Did it happen in Cleveland?
Yeah. It happened in Cleveland, I believe. No, it happened in Chargers. Sorry, Chargers.
Okay.
That was after Cleveland, yes, and that's how Herbert got the start.
Oh, okay.
He took it from there, and then Davis Mills in Houston last year took over. I think he had gotten hurt.
Oh, okay.
But they kept Davis Mills on there.
All right.
Yeah.
But then just wrap it up. Washington, we got them going 5-12. Washington sucks, bro. Like, and yes, I get it. You know, they have Carson Wentz. They're not that bad of a team, but you got Carson Wentz. I mean, Carson Wentz that had a squad in Indianapolis couldn't even take them to a playoff game, and the worst loss of their season was the last game of the season where they needed to win, and they lost to Jacksonville. It's pretty embarrassing.
Horrible.
You know, I don't even have them winning a meaningful game. Maybe you want to say New York, but yeah. Actually, I have them beating the Eagles the third game of the season. That's because Carson Wentz will be playing his former team, but that's about it. So again, I have Cowboys. Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys leading the division, probably maybe a fourth seed, third seed, never know with that record because the NFC is East. NFC, as a whole is loaded. So, but I do see the Dolphins. I see the Dolphins making some noise, and hey, look, they might AFC championship game. You never know.
Never know, man. I'm keeping my hopes alive. I think the Dolphins, if they stay consistent and they stay injury free, and you know, if Mike McDaniel is as creative as everyone says he is and gives him all that credit, and he can bring that kind of style to Miami, I think we're in good hands.
All right. Well, hey, this is it for this podcast. Thank you for tuning in.
This counts for 2 podcasts, right? So
yeah, it's my bad for messing up the first one, but we got it in. Looks like I gotta upgrade my thing because this thing is counting me down as much time I have left. Man.
Yeah.
Need to do a little upgrade.
Mine
but thank you for tuning in to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, so on and so forth. Check us out on our Instagrams and all major platforms. And check out the latest episodes. We will be posting more frequently. Again, we're on a little summer break there because a little dead season where, you know, after basketball,
no one wants to talk about baseball.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk about baseball. So, but thank you for tuning
the Marlins
in.
Suck. Are the Braves any good this year?
Yeah, Braves are pretty good. Yeah, the Braves are pretty good. But thank you for tuning in for Big Meat Sports. Again, this is Jose, your host, and JC out here, and we'll catch you on next episode.